Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. Today we are hauling road bond and fixing the driveway. Adam is about to reach the top of Black Mountain here in North Carolina. It's going to be his first time pulling a load of this size off a long downgrade, where he's going to have to put into practice grade braking technique. I guess I'll just take some video so you guys can see how he does it and me coaching him through it a little bit, and we'll talk about what grade braking is. Here is the signs that require all trucks to pull into the truck station. This provides us a last opportunity to pull in, and here Adam's going to be paying attention to how his brakes feel. They shouldn't be spongy, they should be responsive. We're going to have to pull up here to the light and come to a complete stop. And this is where we see all the signs for steep grade next 5 miles. So for 5 miles we'll be staying in the same gear, practicing proper grading technique. Up here is the sign that tells us where the runaway truck ramps are and at what milepost. So we've got 3 ramps between milepost 70 and 71. So Adam, for this truck, is going to get up into 6th gear. Right there. Now for the next 5 miles, he's going to stay in that gear. For this gear, it puts him at the top of his RPM range. He's going to let it get up to 35 miles per hour, which is our speed limit for trucks. And then he's going to firmly apply foot brake down to 30, and then he's going to let completely off the brakes. The reason being, if he just rode the brakes to maintain 35 miles per hour, he's going to constantly continue to build up heat in the area of the brake pads that are pressing against the drum, and it can eventually glaze the brakes. They'll become spongy, and he will eventually lose friction between the brake pads and the drum. By letting completely off, it gives those brake pads time to cool, and we're just going to continue this exercise all the way down the hill. He's going to have to apply brake every 15 to 30 seconds. There are areas of this road that are kind of flat, and it's tempting if we're at 30 miles per hour to hit the fuel and speed up, but I encourage just letting it cruise, and that longer period of it not accelerating gives those brake pads time to cool on off. You see that guy right there, we're doing right under 35, so he's running 45 miles per hour, which is his choice. If he's loaded heavy though, by the time he gets to the bottom of this hill, if he's not in a low enough gear to maintain those speeds, he could potentially have to hit a runaway ramp, which is not a fun ride from my understanding. I've never taken chances on hills like this because I don't want to hit one. As my understanding, it is not a fun ride when you hit those sand pits.
That looked fun.
No, you usually sustain injury and the truck gets ripped apart. I can't afford a new truck or new legs, so we're just going to take our time.
Yes.
Right here, they've got camera that detects speed. And if these lights were flashing, we'd be going too fast. But here we're approaching a sign that tells us we're coming up on runaway truck ramps in 1 mile. You can see here's mile marker 69, so we know how much further it is to our first ramp. If we had lost our gear, jumped out of gear, and we couldn't find another one, we know we've got a mile that we're going to rapidly pick up speed and have time to make that judgment call at we're going to go ahead and hit the ramp. Even if we feel like we've got brakes, if we can't get that sucker back in gear, we're going to be a runaway really quickly. So that's something that's hard to do. If you feel like you've got brakes and you can't get back in your gear, you're a new driver or whatever, and you say, well, I've got brakes, I'm going to wait until the next ramp. That's the wrong decision to make. Because you may only be doing 50 by the first ramp. By the time you run out of your brakes, I would imagine you're probably going to be approaching 75 miles an hour, 80, without having a gear. And then it's going to hurt a lot more when you finally hit that ramp. A gentleman not long ago got sentenced to 110 years in prison because he's a new driver, made some bad decisions in Colorado, and it was a situation just like this. He lost control, he plowed in to stop traffic and killed 4 people. I think they did end up reducing his sentence, but everybody's got mixed emotions. Drivers have mixed emotions about this. So here you see your runaway truck ramp. If you had to hit this, you'd want to go ahead and start moving over and hit it straight on. That right there, friends, would not be a fun ride. I've seen them make it nearly to the end of these ramps. So Adam's doing a great job. How's it feel? Brakes still feel the same as at the top?
Pretty much, yeah.
So what you're paying attention to is if you're starting to have to push the pedal farther to get that same braking momentum. You've done this properly and you're in a proper gear. If you're not experiencing any change when you're braking, we are watching as far through the curve as we can, even through the trees, because if there's stop traffic up there, we're going to need to stay in gear and just brake the truck down to a stop. You don't want to try to start downshifting or anything like that. Here's runaway truck ramp number 2. Adam's not experiencing any change in braking. The engine brake sounds good. It's still holding us back really well. Now, the heavier you are, the lower gear you need to be in and the slower you need to run. Just because the truck speed limit's 35 doesn't mean that you shouldn't run 30. If you're grossing out at 120,000 pounds or something, and this is where proper training comes in. It's runaway truck number 3, runaway truck ramp. You can see where somebody slammed into it. They made it a long way. I'd say that truck was probably doing 60. Be my guess. That's just a total guess. So with this video, guys, don't, just because the speed limit is 35, don't think that the truck you're driving at the weight you're hauling, 6th gear is right. These trucks have 6 speeds, 8 speeds, 9, 10, 13, and 18. Some even 15 speeds. So now here you see a guy pulled over. We don't know why, but if you do start experiencing brake fade, you can start braking down if you're going slow enough, and as long as you can get stopped and pulled to the side of the road, you can stop and allow your brakes to cool. That is an option, but you want to brake down while you stay in gear. Do not start trying to downshift, because if you lose that gear, you've lost your control. You've lost what holds you back for the most part. And if it sounds like the engine's going to blow and you've lost your brakes, let her blow. Just ride it out until you get to the runaway truck ramps. So now it's tempting. Here, you know, we're loaded and we're going down to the bottom of this. Trucks, you know, you start seeing trucks going faster and faster. They're probably familiar with this road and they're going ahead and starting to accelerate. You see 35 miles an hour here. That speed limit is 35 until we get to the next sign, which from here I can see is 70 miles per hour. It's tempting to start speeding up. We're dropping this right lane here. That's the wrong thing to do, because if the DOT man's sitting around the corner and you start cranking it out and you're 65 miles an hour before you get that 70, you just got yourself a ticket for a felony. So that's great braking technique. Adam did a great job. We survived to the bottom. Brakes still feel good.
They do.
And it also saves wear on your brakes and expense and everything else. So we're going to get up here to the job. Congratulations, Adam, keeping me alive. We'll see you there. Adam's getting turned around. We had to build this. We actually built this whole road. I'll let you guys check it out on the way out. I've just been lazy on my video in here lately, but I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna back him in. We've got paint marks all around through here where we're going to put this road bond down. We got stuck in here, which is why he got him a nice new pad. He liked it so much he wants us to expand it on back, which we're gonna do. We're gonna put 1, 2, 3 loads down, and I'm gonna just spread them with the tractor. Tailgate slams, boom. That's a light slam, but it'll do. Let's go get some more. Go ahead and latch it there, boss man. Don't ever stick your fingers in there, friends. That hurts.
Yep.
I told the folks at home I'd take them on a tour out this road we just built. Or repaired. I guess it's technically repaired.
If you could call it that, you pretty much built it from nothing.
They didn't have much on it, did they?
Very little. One thing, it's a lot easier to turn around down here now.
Yes. Maybe in the future we should encourage people to build us let us build a turnaround, only at their expense next time.
Exactly.
I guess I could have got out and watched for you, huh?
That's all right. I got it.
A good co-pilot would have helped. This route through here was the biggest thing we had to pay attention to because it's slow. It's fairly steep. Just did it first, so every load we brought in to do the rest, we were constantly compacting it. I dare say it's much more compact than it would have been with a 1-ton roller. Adam's been our masterful truck driver on this project, tailgating all the loads down. I think I just did a couple of them. Got your hands on running tractor some too.
A little bit, yeah.
I think you did well. I think I'll just let you finish this job.
I think we have very different definitions of well.
We gotta widen this out, so we're gonna bring 2 loads to put down here. So we got 5 more loads to bring in for this job. And then this coming weekend, I've got a bunch of forestry mulching to do with the cat, and got a lot of good fun projects coming up. Pretty big clearing job too. Yep. We're gonna go get some more stone and haul it in. Okay, so now this next one, I think I'll have him dump it right here. Or actually back in this corner. That way when we come with subsequent loads, he can still turn around. He's getting where he can handle that truck, folks, I tell you what. Good road bond. right there is 15 tons. Boom. I'll have to teach him how to hit the brake and slam that tailgate. So our customer wanted this area widened out too. You can see this ground's packed really good. We wanted 2 cars to be able to pass in this area, which worked out, but he's wanting us to cover this area too. I think Adam could just about drive on this, but I'm not going to take a chance on getting him off in something soft, because we've had a couple of freeze and thaw cycles, which he could sink and turn over or whatever. So I'm just going to have him tailgated out and probably right in front of his truck roughly to this corner, and then I can push it out with the tractor. He's getting good at that, folks. Real good. Perfect. Let's go get another load. You must have had a good teacher.
Yeah. How about the bald spot?
Let's just not talk about that. Well, that's what the next load's for, you know.
That one's on me. I pansied out.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't have the bed high enough.
Well, you know, the majority of it, 95%, went very well. You just had a little stutter.
One of my specialty whoopty-doos.
Hey, you know, it is what it is. We'll go get us another load, get back, and then I can take the tractor and just start pushing this out. It'll turn out quite nicely. Now we've gotten all of our loads hauled. Tractor's warming up. Adam's got the last load of road bond in the Mac. I just have to distribute all of it. Got these 3 loads we're going to spread out into this area. I've got to scoop a little bit and put it up here where this little muddy spot is per the customer's request. Let's jump on it.